Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1. Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. I am back up in Canada after being in the excited states of America for a few days. Getting my Tillamook cheese, doing a little bit of gambling, visiting some old friends who now live in the US of A. So, well, while I was down in the excited states, Carolyn's RV life did it again, and it was an actual video that is the genesis of my particular, I guess you'd call it an online feud, or at least you could call it me calling BS on her. She's back to the highway of tears and trying to insert herself into that narrative and into that story, and it's despicable, it's unethical, and it is without merit. And let's put it this way. This whole thing started years ago when she was coming through British Columbia, the province of my birth, and she inserted herself into the story with the flapping poster. As far as I'm concerned, if somebody's got a missing loved one and you see a flapping poster, your first instinct isn't to get your camera out and to dramatize it. No, you stick another piece of tape on there because maybe the next person that comes by might actually help solve the crime or the missing disappearance of that person. Now, where Carolyn is despicable, she's not stupid. You can accuse her of many, many things, but stupidity is not one of the things that you could ever accuse her of. Things are getting really tough for her over the years. She's no longer getting the ad revenue or the attention that she used to, which leaves her in a precarious position that she reviews her videos and she sees the videos where she depicts men as bad people, or she can depict some sort of scary thing involving a man. You know, a man lurking somewhere, a man who asked her a question, a man who did this, you fill in the blanks. She inserts herself in the story, tries to paint the men as all being bad, and she gets a lot more views. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Especially, she does this without merit. And for those of you not aware, the Highway of Tears is a highway that runs between Prince George and Prince Rupert on the coast, where many, mostly indigenous women, local, you'd say, in the U.S. you'd call them Native American. We don't really call them Native Canadian, but they're indigenous people, women for the most part, that have disappeared over the years. Now, the bulk of these disappearances are well into the past, and many of them have been solved. In fact, an American who's now dead, who lived up here in Canada, has been linked to many of those disappearances. A lot of the disappearances or murders even, were linked to other people, and those have been solved, thankfully. So, the strange thing is, she rolls up here to British Columbia. First thing she does that annoys me is she starts complaining about the border people, how they asked her question. You know, those evil men at the border asking her questions. Like, every country, look, you guys got a border crisis in the US of A, I get it. Those people that work the border, they deserve our respect and our patience. When I cross into the US of A, I'm treated fairly, and I completely sympathize with the tough job they have ahead of them. And when you're not an American, you enter the US of A through privilege, not right. So I am on my best behavior. I never have any problems with them. And in fact, just like I'm doing now, I respect the work that they do because it's important work. And I don't really badmouth them and give them grief because they treat me with respect. I treat them with respect. They're there to serve a purpose. So she comes up here and she starts ragging on these men who dared ask her questions, and how dare those men do their job and protect the sovereignty of Canada like all nations do at the border. Unless you're a citizen, honey, you ain't got no right to enter the country. So that's the way it is. And then our next video, or a couple videos after that, she's talking about the Highway of Tears. Obviously, she researched the whole damn thing and, you know, took advantage of the flapping poster thing that I just mentioned earlier, and inserts herself in the story because some friendly Canadian guy, you know, he's a man. It's amazing she even knows what a man is, because she's one of those liberals that doesn't know about gender. She claims the man asked her some questions. Oh, my Lord, he asked questions. Oh, are you traveling? Oh, I see you're from Nevada. Well, of course, you got Nevada license plates. It's no different than... I don't know how many trips where people notice that I'm a Canadian. You know, when I'm in a casino or in a store or something, nobody knows. I just look like anybody else. You know, I could be American from anywhere. But they see me get out of a car with or a motorhome with BC license plates. They know I'm a Canadian. Okay, people are friendly. Okay, I expect that. If somebody asks me a question like that, I'll get alarms. Oh, you're out to rob me. You know, there's an assumption that, oh, if I had enough money as a Canadian to get down here, maybe I'm worth robbing. No, I don't make that assumption. I just assume that many people are, are very friendly. I don't really expect friendliness in some places. When I'm in New York City, I get that people are a lot less friendly than if I was in Topeka, Kansas. I get that, okay? But at the same time, my alarm bells aren't like ringing just because somebody asks me a question or approaches me to have a conversation. But that's exactly what she did. In her latest video, she talks about her scariest moments as an RVer, as a solo woman traveler. For goodness sake, she is not the demographic of anybody that has actually disappeared. And like I said, the bulk of this is all ancient history. It's ancient history. The type of stuff that was happening in the past is not happening today. Not at all. So she rolls up here and pretends that she was like this close to being a victim. No, none of these victims were tourists from other countries. They were not American women. They were not tourists of any regard. No, they were marginalized individuals who were largely indigenous women. And, you know, it's a tough part of the world where things get kind of cold, and some people are actually just friendly. There's no bus service. It's very rural. Sometimes when you break down or you're parked somewhere, people just ask to see how you're doing. Suddenly, she's a potential victim, and she's nearly getting killed. And the funny thing is, she's so quick to pull out the camera and document everything else in her damn life. Zero documentation of any of these scary stories that she comes up with. Nothing. She claims months later she actually reported this incident. Months later. What's the point of that at all? The horse has left the barn. If there was any merit to the case, no, you start taking pictures. You write down the guy's license plate number, you get a proper description, and you report it ASAP. As a matter of fact, I've actually solved crimes in the US of A and even been a victim of crime. I'll give you some examples here where I'm doing the right thing and I'm not exploiting anybody. And even if when I become an inadvertent victim, I don't flip out. I don't badmouth the host country. I just understand that things happen. Shit happens, okay? Shit happens. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with some personal attack against me. No. For those of my long-term viewers, you remember I was in Hawaii during the missile crisis. We all got alerts on our phones, and we thought there was an incoming missile coming from North Korea. At the moment, we thought, yeah, this was real because the text said this is real, this is not a drill. I was there for it. I talked about it because guess what? I was a victim. I was actually a victim. I was there. The videos are still up on my channel that prove that. This was not make-believe, me inserting myself into the story. It was me reporting the story because I was there. And in fact, even a media outlet in Spain quickly emailed me and said, hey, can we use can you sign over the rights to use that video for a report that we're doing in Spain? I said, no problem, I'm here. You know, knock yourself out. Okay. Another time, I think a following trip in Hawaii, I'm staying at a hotel on Lures in Waikiki. Anybody that lives in Oahu knows Lures. It's one of the small little side streets in Waikiki. And I'm at the convenience store there, and this crazy homeless person's ripping the place apart and stealing food and, you know, threatening the poor Hawaiian lady who's just trying to make a living. And so, you know, the cops come and I go, hey, I can solve this. I used to work in law enforcement. I can solve this. Hey, I am just some dude wearing shorts that looks like a tourist. I bet you I can spot the guy. You guys relax. You guys are wearing those dark uniforms. He's going to see you coming. You're driving a blue and white car. So I go for a walk and I see the guy on Kalakaua. It's a one-way street there in that section of Kalakaua. He's trying to carjack people. You can't make this shit up. I spotted him. I did, like I said, I did the proper thing. You know, I feel like when in Rome, do as Romans. I feel like I have a responsibility to the community because I'm part of that community at that moment, even though I'm just a tourist. Pick up the phone, call 911. Hey, I'm the guy that just did a report to a HPD member. I spotted the same guy, recognize him. He's trying to carjack people on Kalakaua. So, the blue and whites show up, they take him down, and I walk over there while he's handcuffed, and, you know, I make a statement. It's the least I could do. Least I could do. Another time I was in Hawaii, even before that, rented a brand new Mustang convertible, and somebody hit and ran on me, scraped the whole side of this brand new Mustang convertible that had only a few hundred miles on it. Luckily I carry insurance for it. Did it stop me from actually coming back to Hawaii just because I was a victim there? No. Shit happens, and it had nothing to do with my gender. It had nothing to do who I was. It wasn't about my nationality. I wasn't targeted. This was not personal. Shit happens, and that's the bottom line. But Carolyn's, oh no, Carolyn's RV Life, always inserting herself into stories with no evidence, no proof, and trying to portray man bad, me good, me victim, me exploit for money. She's kind of very simple-minded that way. She's not stupid, like I said earlier, not stupid, but she plays that card over and over with no merit or evidence. And the fact that she even, when she put that first video up, she did this petition. There was a link to a petition regarding the Highway of Tears to sign it. And I kid you not, this is how she virtue signals in such a fake way. The link to the petition had long since expired. It was no longer even a valid petition, but she has to play that card in virtue signal, and it's ridiculous, it's unethical, and she needs to give her head a shake. And as I said in the very first video where I talked about her and I called her on it, I said you need to apologize. That's what you need to do. Oh no, she does a video all about me, that how I gave up an opportunity. Line screw, you are one of those nomads out there, and you should have learned as a man that this was an opportunity for you to support me. And oh, give me a break. She's just angry that I got the attention that I deserve to call her on her BS. Now, I know for a fact you would not appreciate it if I came to your part of the world and your country and pretended that I was a victim, fictitiously, of a crime that is unsolved, when there are true victims who are out there. And I'm just inserting myself in there, trying to pretend that I was a possible victim just to make a few bucks. You would not appreciate that. And that's the exact same sentiment that I have about Carolyn. I don't appreciate her coming here and inserting herself into these horrible crimes, pretending that she was a potential victim when there's absolutely no proof. In fact, the MO isn't even somebody like her. It's not white people that are tourists, you know, in a motorhome. No! Without regard to the fact that most of these crimes were all in the past. They were all done. It was over. It's so ridiculous and it's so unethical that, hey, I gotta speak the truth here. I gotta defend the integrity and the honor of the law enforcement agencies that have been working hard to actually solve these crimes. Meanwhile, some bozo like her tries to insert herself into it. It's ridiculous, it's shameful, and you put your comments down below if you think I am right on that. And you put your comments on whether you'd appreciate me inserting, or even Carolyn, inserting herself into one of these things in your country. You wouldn't. Carolyn needs to start acting more ethically, and more people on YouTube need to call her on her BS. A lot of other YouTube nomads, they don't want to touch her because it's a kiss of death, and she will send her friendlies. Her friendlies are always attacking my channel. She's always complaining to YouTube about my channel because how dare me, I'm a man and I speak truth. And I'm a reasonably minded person. I give Carolyn credit where credit is due, and I call her on BS when it's BS. And a lot of the stuff I even do is just pure satire about her, and as we know, satire is protected speech. So, but this video is not satire. It is my opinion of exactly what she's been doing and how unethical I think it is, and I think you should know about it, and I feel so much better now that I've vented to you guys. So you put your comments down below on your take on this whole matter of the Highway of Tears and her inserting herself into this narrative like she often does. Hope you're doing well. It's a fairly nice day, miserable rain in the morning, but it's cleared up, and hey, it don't take much to make me happy. Stay safe, folks. I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.
Can go to figure out what we've done, what we need to do. Yeah, I got you, I got you, I got you.